hello and welcome. I'm going to be Ranconius and your guide into this first edition of Smite Sunday Sessions with the Silicon guys. Of course, joining me for a fantastic interview. Big thank you to you guys. We have Top Notch and as well Freemason. Guys, hello and welcome.
Hello.
I tell you what, it's been an interesting sort of couple of weeks for you guys as you've been climbing up that ladder. But first off, before we get into any sort of those juicy details, let's start by getting to know you both. What's your real name, in-game name, and how long have you been playing Smite for?
Alright, well, I'm Freemason Miles. You know me in-game as Freemason. The name's not overly creative, but it is what it is. I've been playing Smite for about a year when Matt showed me. Yeah, and we've just been playing ever since. It's been pretty good.
My name is Matthew Daly, aka Top Notch. I've been playing Smite for roughly 2 years now. I got into the game when a couple of friends of mine introduced me to it. I got my best bud Mason on board, and we've been killing it ever since.
Interesting way to start. It's always nice to have your best mate playing the same game as you and on the same team. That's even better.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you both play for the SLCN.pro lineup, but what roles are you guys maining? For anyone out there that hasn't seen or heard of you guys before.
I main support, and my job is to make sure no one else on my team beats and makes it loose.
Good luck.
Yeah. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it.
I mean solo lane, which is basically 1v1 for fucking 10 minutes until lanes break. And that's pretty much it.
So if you guys had to choose a favorite god from all of the gods in the game, not just the specific ones for your role, which gods would you pick and why? Top Notch, what's your favorite god?
My favorite god, nothing to do with the role I play, but my favorite god is Amir. It's been my favorite god for like a year since I've been playing this game, and I don't know, I just like everything about Amir. From like
that's a bold choice, man.
Oh, rough pun, dude. Rough.
Freemason, your favorite god, buddy?
My favorite god would have to be Artemis. Back when Matt and I were playing Joust to learn the game, blinking in and ulting and having the pig hit everybody, it got me so many triple kills. It was excellent.
Right, so just that funky kind of gimmick stuff. It's all you.
Just the dumb shit that can win you a game. It's all me.
So obviously we're doing this interview. I mean, something sort of big has just happened over the last week. You guys ended up in a Cyber Game, a ladder match, probably the most hyped game so far in the Oceanic Smite scene against opponents Trident, and you managed to win. I mean, we were having a bit of discussion personally between us sort of three prior to the game, but you know, for everyone else out there, how did you guys sort of feel going into it, Mason?
I definitely felt like we were the underdogs or the team without the advantage, really. Trident just such a strong team, and we haven't really been able to perform up to their level previously, I think, in scrims. And we did put in a lot of practice, and we did a lot of homework up on their squad and their players to try and win us that first spot, and I'm happy it paid off.
Notch, I mean, solo lane, potentially, something funky always happens up there. You can never get away from it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about going into that one?
Yeah, going against Divine is like, I don't know, it's been something I personally like kind of tasked myself with as like a professional player. Like Divine was like, I think he was like the second highest ranked Australian player before service came out, and I don't know, he's kind of like a goal I set myself to be able to compete with. And I don't know, in that game I actually ended up like killing Tower before him and making some, I'd like to say, better rotations than him that achieved a lot more. So I'm, you know, quite proud of myself in that aspect of the game.
So I mean, that's a bit of a rivalry. Has that always sort of been there for you? Every single game you've ever been playing, you go, oh, maybe that wouldn't have worked against Divine. Have you been thinking about that every time you sort of look at a scrim and try and practice and bring yourself to that level?
I don't want to say like every game, because that sounds like some like old villain story where it's like I just like think everything to do with Divine. But I mean, like, you know, Divine, he's definitely one of like he's like easily top 3 solo laners in Australia, and like I don't know, he's just like, you know, he's always someone I want to be like aspiring to compete on that same level of. Like he's the kind of like, I guess you could say the benchmark of where I want to be competing at and like a solo laner in a professional level.
So let's I guess moving on from that, start walking a little bit into the game. And what was the emotion like and the feel of the team chat for you guys actually moving through the game? There was, you know, you were behind for a very long period of time. He's made some nice plays, managed to swing it back your way. What did it just feel like for something like that to happen in such a somewhat important game at the early part of this the scene?
We just kind of take it as it comes. We didn't really have the best of game plans, I'd say, as in we're going to do this, then this, then this. It was sort of try to take the good engagements, try to win the team fights, try and push the objectives harder than they could, and overall try to put out a better team. I wouldn't say a better team, but a better fight and a better push for the win as much as we could. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of kept on top of ourselves. Like as many deficits we had in that game, we always knew that we were still in it. We were never too far behind or anything. We were always getting something when we lost something. You know what I mean? Like we kind of kept on top of ourselves in that respect.
Yeah, definitely didn't get down on ourselves when we lost all those early gold periods and stuff like that. Just kept up the farm, kept up the push, and made sure we made all the right calls that we could.
Yeah, that's right.
And how crucial to the overall outcome of the game was that actual constant positive attitude from the entire team? I mean, you guys at any moment could have switched and gone in a little bit of a tilt, maybe, and let the game snowball into Triton's favor from that. You know, how important was it just to you guys that you just all stayed together and played well as a team the entire way through?
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say it won us the game not to go on tilt. There were a few points where there was things we were saying during the game we could have done better, but what we always try to do is say, we'll come back to it when the game's over, win or lose. You always go back and look at the things you think you could have done better and argue about it then, rather than in the game. Just keep your head in the moment and keep a clear head.
Alright, that's always good to see. And I mean, it was a little bit of an emphatic victory. You guys said coming into the game that you considered yourselves underdogs. What was, all of a sudden you've won this game that you didn't think was potentially possible at the start of it? Where did you guys sort of go emotionally from that? What was it like? I mean, I've heard little stories that you sort of blew up and there was a bit of a screaming going on. But
that was really rough for everyone's ears in that curse call. Like the next 5 minutes after that, we kind of just lost it. Like we were just like screaming and shit. My mom actually told me that my neighbor came and knocked on the door and asked if like everything was okay because I was just fucking screaming into my mic the whole time.
So is this something that we're gonna expect to see on stage if you guys do get a rematch against Trident?
Absolutely. I think we're really enthusiastic players. Like we're not afraid to yell and like, you know, show that we're hyped and things like that. I don't think it would change in like a LAN environment.
Yeah, it's definitely a positive emotion to have as well. Like, there's nothing bad that can really come from being excited about a win and looking forward to the next time you can face an excellent team like that.
Fantastic. I'm certainly looking forward to some celebrations post game. It's gonna be a bunch of fun. But let's take us a little bit further back now. I mean, we've just discussed probably what was one of the most important games that you guys have definitely played so far. But let's go all the way back to your roots. I mean, you both said that Notch, you got Mason into the game. Where did you guys start to formulate the team known as Salt Boys, which moved on to Rival Esports and where you guys are now at Silicon? What sort of kicked all that off? Where did it all start? Where did you meet Rana? You know, everyone like that.
Ooh, that's a long story. I think initially, Notch and I were on a team called
Death Squad.
Death Squad, yeah.
Squad.
That was the lamest team.
We played a joust team called
Death Squad. Yeah, it was a joust team, and then we moved on to Conquest for a little bit, and some of our other friends stopped playing, so we looked for other Australian players who were still on the North American servers, and we came up with Boom Squad. And then things fell through with Boom Squad, and we ended up, Matt and I, moving on to a team known as Anti-Alias with some people you might know, Switch Bay. Maxim was on that team, I believe, as well as Rana Barana. So we're on that team for about maybe a week or so before we decided maybe we'll try and start our own team again, get some stuff going on there, and then we I think Matt can take it from here because it was all him from there.
I ended up joining a team called Venomosity Gaming with Italios. What was his name? Italios. And originally Rogue Effects, his name was, which is now just Rogue. And it kind of sounds bad, but I guess I kind of like infiltrated that team from the inside. Like I joined that team, and then I kind of got everyone replaced except Rogue because I wanted Rogue. and then Italios ended up leaving as well, and we brought Mason into the support role. He hadn't played support before. Yeah. Learned support just to play on the team, which was really a really nice commitment. And then we became Soul Boys into Rival Esports.
Oh man, Mason, all that effort went all out of all your way. I mean, all of a sudden you go from feeding everywhere else on the map, and now you have to stop everyone else from feeding. That was a bit of a tough ask from you. How did you sort of learn to move into the support role? Because where were you playing before that?
I was playing solo for a few weeks when we were on AA and Venomosity for a little bit. But before that, I was playing ADC with Notch as my support on Boom Squad. So I didn't really have to swap lanes, and Notch had taken the time to learn support really well. So he taught me a lot of all the little tips and tricks he picked up while I was playing ADC, and I know what I want out of a support from playing ADC for so long. So I feel like I can bring that to the role as well, which really helped.
You think that if you hadn't have played ADC for so long, or Hunter as the champion class is known, would you feel like you probably wouldn't be as good at the support role?
I feel like laning phase would have been a lot weaker because obviously I wouldn't know what my ADC wanted. But no, I don't think so. I put in a lot of time and effort into trying getting my support level up, and I think it's paid off. So.
Brilliant. Lovely to see, I tell you what. But moving on now, it recently just got announced and brought to everyone's attention just a couple months ago now, but we're going to have a direct seed from the Australian scene into Smite World Championships Season 2. And I don't know, what are you guys feeling? Is it changing the way that you're sort of treating the game? Is it starting to appear to you that, potentially somewhere down the track this could turn into a career opportunity? Does it sort of change the way you handle the mindset of the game? Are you still just going ahead with this positive attitude, regardless whether this was an option?
I'm definitely looking at the game more critically, and the games I play personally more critically, and my own play to improve myself. But other than that, I'm still playing a few hours a day, just getting the practice in, just taking it one day at a time, looking forward to showing that we're a top team and competitive team for the OCE scene.
It kind of makes it real, you know what I mean? Like, you always look at the game as a game until you find out that you can fly to another country and compete for $1 million, you know what I mean? Like, it just makes it like a real thing that I can strive towards. Like, I look at the game as like something I want to be doing instead of doing it like an actual, like a 9-to-5 job, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, definitely. I've been around long enough. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at it more critically. You want to fly internationally to be able to compete at Smite World Championships Season 2. Do you think, with the team's current ability, that you do have the ability to progress to the Smite World Championship Season 2? Do you think, potentially across the course of the season you're going to have to improve to potentially get that spot? Because there's only one seed.
Yeah, there is only one seed, and there's definitely half a dozen to a dozen teams who are up for taking that from us if we don't keep up this level of practice and communication and commitment to the game. So we definitely have to keep that up and make sure we're still striving for that #1 spot.
Awesome. Not you've just got sort of like, yeah, Mason said it.
It pretty much nailed it. Like, there's like, I think there's like debatable, obviously, but there's definitely like the top 3 or top 4 teams right now. But like everyone else is so close behind that, you know what I mean? Like, there's like maybe like 10 or so teams that really can make it to Worlds for like 2016 January World Championship. Like, that's like everyone can make it, you know what I mean? If everyone puts in the same amount of effort and time and commitment to the game, like it could be anyone's game to make it to Atlanta.
Well, it hasn't actually been announced that it's in Atlanta. I think they're actually looking at potentially a European location.
Okay,
That'd be cool.
I just assumed Atlanta because it was Atlanta last year.
I mean, how cool would it be? Flying to Paris, city you love, and you're going over there to play a game you love.
I wouldn't even play the game. I'd just look around.
You have to put out a Cupid pick.
Please no.
Going to Paris, Cupid pick, the only thing you could do. But anyway, are you confident? Do you feel the recent changes made to a large portion of the game with the Season 2 patch and all the content coming out from there is going to influence the way that Smite is played across this season, both North America, Europe, potentially even some of the Asian nations which are starting to pick it up? Do you think that even those Asian nations have something to contribute that's going to change the meta come Smite World Championship Season 2?
I think with like all the recent changes, it kind of like wiped the board a little bit. Like, everyone that was good at their own particular things had their like whole game plans shaken up with this meta change, you know what I mean? It kind of gave everyone a fresh start to like claw for that top spot. Like, things that people were doing to remain those top teams are not necessarily as viable as they used to be. And it's kind of shaken up the meta amongst all the different regions.
Do you expect to potentially see a new team even within the Australian server suddenly just rise from the ashes just purely because of the changes that have been made?
It's really kind of hard to say. Like with the limited player base in Australia, I feel like the team, like the not necessarily the teams that are established, but the players that are already established are kind of just there to stay as it is for right now. Like whatever happens amongst those certain teams and like new teams that come out of those original players, like is all up in the air. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say in that respect.
Well, are you enjoying the effort that is definitely now being placed into the region by combined efforts of Surprise Attack and Hi-Res Studios? I mean, Surprise Attack, especially coming from Daniel, he's very interested and was hugely supportive of a lot of the content, obviously surrounding the Silicon versus Trident match. But you know, potentially anything else that you want to see from these guys? Are they doing a suitable enough job? Is there anything that you're particularly enjoying seeing from them?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with all their work. I know that a lot of the tournaments and stuff are community run, from my knowledge. So I'd like to see maybe a few more community tournaments, maybe some for some of the newer teams starting up, maybe exclude some people from the Cyber Gamer bracket that are on top, so to give these teams a chance to get some proper practice and make sure they don't get knocked out in earlier rounds in a competitive setting. I think would be pretty cool. But it seems like they're doing a pretty solid job so far of keeping this community growing, and we'll do everything we can to help that.
Yeah, I think like all the support, like just even on like social media and stuff, like seeing them post about the Silicon vs Trident game, that like blew me away just to see, you know, there was like 3 million people that had exposure to that one post just about one game in Australia, you know, like that's just so cool to see that kind of thing. I think it would be really cool to be told what's going on, you know what I mean? Like maybe some announcements about like LANs coming up, I don't know, just more events. Like, just some. There needs to be some things that are set in stone, in my opinion. Just like so we can know what we're working towards. Because right now, all we know is that there's one spot for Worlds, and like that's kind of makes you anxious just to think about. That's all you know. You don't know how to get there. You don't know what you need to achieve to get there. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've got an interesting question coming particularly aimed at you, Top Notch, but I might direct a second portion of it back at Miles. Sorry, Mason. How much salt is truly a part of everything Top Notch?
Well, 1 tablespoon apparently. in the recent couple of weeks, 1 tablespoon is how much salt is in Top Notch. But I bleed salt. Like I don't even care that it's bad. Like there's nothing wrong with having some salt on your spoon, dude.
Mason, how do you go about handling all the salt coming out from that solar lane?
You know, in competitive settings, there's not nearly as much salt as there would be to ruin a game or to put anyone on tilt. You know, he does keep a level head, Notch, as often as he does get angry, but it's usually fine. I think it brings out the best in us, because really it's just him expecting us to perform at a level that is applicable to our team. He just wants us to perform at our best, and that's usually when we start seeing the Salt Lord emerge from his lane.
With a hot feelers.
Yeah.
Oh, rough days.
Did we lose rank?
I believe we lost rank.
Ooh, rough days.
Look at that good-looking grin.
Yeah, it looks like Scott's just dropped out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
we'll hopefully get this back in a few seconds. Hang on, guys.
We'll just tell some fantastic jokes while we're waiting.
I'd hate to break it to Dr. Zeus, but 4 silicon and 1 sodium don't ever bond. Sorry. To break your dreams. But it doesn't happen.
Fucking engineer over here, laying it down.
Yeah, that's the law of chemistry.
That was the worst pun I've ever seen in the world, Switchface. Salt to lane. Salt low lane.
That one was forced, definitely.
Oh, I think he took stream. You took stream down, Res?
stream's still up. It's we just got a splash screen there at the moment, so yeah, you guys can continue talking and talk to the people in chat. It's all good.
Right, man. Cool.
Oh, General's Gentleman, how you doing?
Yeah, welcome, dude.
Thanks for
Excellent.
casting that. Good casting on that game of ours between us and Trident. It was really good.
I might try and contact rank. Because this is rough days. Where's Biggie and Sporks? Are they still in here?
I don't know. Turn up everyone else. Okay.
How did you see him? Because as Switchface said, we have the bond of love.
Yeah. And that trumps all science and
Love trumps all
Chemistry.
things.
yeah. Stasis mode is a pain in the ass. Yes.
Silicone trident. I don't even get that. Wait, so rank is on Twitch, but I'm confused. I'm very confused.
Switch Trace pulling out all the puns today.
Gruff days. Is Gruff here? Rana Banana in chat. I see you. How good are we at maintaining conversation?
Yeah, how good is the internet at keeping things connected?
Yeah, ask Just Rogue.
Yeah. And Maxon.
Yeah, true. Maxim's a fucking worth. Is that you,
Oh, I think
Senpai?
I'm back.
Is that you?
Ah,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, it is.
I notice you.
Wow.
Your
Thank
webcam.
you.
Your webcam's
I
not back yet.
I feel honoured
What even
to
happened?
say. No idea. Internet just dropped.
Oh, Switch, dude, that was so bad. Oh,
He's bringing them all out. Oh lord.
Are we done?
I can see you.
We-
No,
Are we off?
well, I don't know. You were you were asking some questions. I can't remember what.
Yeah, let's
No.
go. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're back. I can see you guys again. That's always positive. Alright. Okay.
I don't remember what you were talking about, but
Oh well, yeah. I think I have an idea. We just discussed how much salt it takes to be
Oh,
top notch. But fine, I think this is probably the question that I come up with. It's probably the most important to me. What drives you to continue performing and improving, even if you are currently listed as, I mean, on the ladder, you're recognized as the #1 team in Australia. In your minds, I don't think you actually think that you guys are still
No,
the
not at all.
#1 team. But what continues to drive you to increase your performance? Are you just never satisfied with how good you guys are?
I don't think, until you end up beating like previously known as cognitive prime, like I don't think you could ever be satisfied with how you play. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I just want to be performing at the same level as other pros in other regions. Like North American pros are like on such a different level than Australian pros, and I just kind of want to bring myself to that same level.
Yeah, I just want to show other regions that people from Australia can compete on the top level with North American, European, and of course Latin American, Chinese, and potentially other Asian teams or Eastern teams, and just show that we can play the game just as good as anyone else, and that we can beat them.
So that's probably a goal for this year. Get to World Championships. Take a game off somebody.
That's definitely the goal. Get to World Championships, but
We'll take a couple of games with someone.
easy, GG, easy.
You guys are searching for the kaboom of Smite, really, so you can take the game. A few people will know it. Have you guys ever heard of the Kaboom of LOL? Yeah, from LOL.
I have not.
Okay, so Kaboom are this really small-time team that come out of nowhere in Europe, got to World Championships through the wildcards, and then proceeded to take a game from one of the best teams in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's us.
So that's what
not
you guys want to be
wildcards.
able to do is something potentially
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Is the prize pool of the World Championship potentially something that's going to be driving you guys?
I think mainly I just want to be. It'd be awesome to be representing Australia at World Championships. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the money or anything, but like just being the Australian team at World Championships would just be insane.
And does that drive you to improve yourself both as a player and then also on a personal level? You want to be, something of a role model for the Australian community. You want to go overseas and say, hey, this is our region. We're all really nice people. Come over and, check us out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely something we want to look at doing is growing this community and making sure that it's a good place for new players to come and learn the game and enjoy it as much as we do.
All right. Well, big thank you guys for taking the time out of your days to definitely come and sit down and have a chat with myself. Big thank you to Resonate, who's obviously sitting on the other end of the stream and has been controlling everything. He's
Thank you.
always fantastic to have around. But finally, if you guys got any more comments, queries, questions, shout-outs, anything you want to say, Switch Base floating around in the chat, you want to say something about him to him?
Yeah, thanks to Switch Bay for always keeping us on our toes with his excellent puns and wit, and thank you for Silicon and of course the old rival boys for taking a chance on us as a team. And you can find us on Twitter. You can find Notch on Twitch most days. You can find me on Twitch maybe once a month, depending on how busy I am with work and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do that more often. So thanks for dropping by, everyone in chat.
Yeah, main points are, shout out to our sponsors, Digital Anvil and Verve. Shout out to Silicon, especially for taking the chance with us. Twitch.tv/topnotch feeds, daily salt intake every day. And, yeah, I think mainly just personal thank you to you, Rank, Jordan Robson, Taddy, and Layla McMahon Resonate. Really, thank you guys for taking the chance with us.
Alright guys, well, a big thank you once again obviously to you. Everyone in Twitch chat, thank you for coming and hanging out for our Smite Sunday sessions. And you might be able to catch us again. We might look at trying to get somebody else in next weekend. So until then, it's going to be a big bye for now, but not forever.
Thank you.
Swag.